Hey everyone, my name is David, and I've been working in the tech industry for over 10 years now, 7 of them at Google. And today I wanted to share with you my top tip for increasing your chances of getting into top tier tech companies like Google, Apple, and Facebook. Once in a while, I'll meet somebody and they'll tell me, David, what can I do to get into, a Google or Facebook? Or an apple. Please give me your best advice. And deep down in my heart, I know that this person really has no chance because they physically do not live here, right here in Silicon Valley, California. And I realize that this is logistically very, very difficult. But if you're willing to do whatever it takes to get into a top tier tech company, you have to move to Silicon Valley, California. You have to. It'll increase your chances tenfold, if not significantly more. And here's why. The first reason why you should move physically here to the Bay Area, Silicon Valley, California, is because you are going to meet other people who do work at these top tier companies. And if you didn't already know, getting a referral for a job at a tech company increases your chances of getting in by at least 10x. At least 10x. And so, physically being here, you'll meet people who work at tech companies, or you'll make friends with people who might eventually work at tech companies, and they'll be able to give you really strong referrals for jobs here versus, getting to know people remotely and then asking them for a strong referral that way, which usually doesn't work very well. The second reason why you have to physically live in Silicon Valley is because here in Silicon Valley, you'll be able to climb the ladder of companies and eventually get a job at a top tier tech company. It's really unrealistic for you to work, for example, at a mom and pop shop outside of here and then suddenly jump into getting a great job at Apple, for example. What you really need to do is maybe you start off at a mom and pop shop and then you move to a bigger, maybe more tech oriented company. Then you move to maybe like a lower tier tech company. And eventually you get more and more responsibility and you land that, dream job at Facebook. Being here in Silicon Valley gives you the pool of companies to make that transition, right? There are so many tech companies here, great tech companies, small tech companies, and everything in between, that you'll be able to find the right stepping stone you need to land your dream job. The next reason why you have to live here is because you have to get used to the culture here. A lot of times, when I meet people who come from out of state, for example, they tell me how shocked at how the culture is here. And they're right. And it's not always a good thing, but it is a tech specific culture. People will usually say that they're surprised at how hard people work. They're surprised at how boring people are and how they're so focused on their career. And they'll also say how surprised at how everyone is so tech oriented and how everyone is always dreaming of going big in the tech industry. That's true, and that's something that you'll really only find here. And if you're not part of that culture and you're just not used to working at the speed that everyone works at here, then it's going to be really hard for you to find a job here. In fact, every day you're probably going to fall further and further behind. Now, some people will say, why do I need to move to Silicon Valley? There is a satellite or remote Google office near where I live, and I can get a job there. That's true, but what you need to know about most of these satellite offices is that they really fill niche roles. A company might have a satellite office in Idaho, for example, because it's cheap to buy data centers there. And so, unless you're a data center expert, there just won't be the type of job you're looking for in, in Idaho. Whereas, if you are near the headquarters of a tech company, you can literally find any job you can ever think of, whether it's, a programming job or not a programming job. The final reason why I think you should live here is it's just logistically easier for companies to hire you if you already live near them. Like going through the hassle of setting up interviews with you in maybe different time zones or having to fly you over and finding you a hotel, that might not be a big deal to some companies. But as you're making the progression up into a top tech company, it could be a deal breaker for you. And when you're trying to do something big, like land this dream job, you really want every advantage you can have to succeed. And you really want to remove every possible barrier. So, those are my tips for you. I hope you enjoyed them. I personally believe that anyone from any background can find success and eventually get a job at a top tier tech company. And I hope to share with you more tips on how to do so. I personally don't find myself to be super smart or talented or gifted, but I somehow found my way to success in the tech industry. And I believe if I can do it, so can you. So thank you, and I'll talk to you next time.